Hey, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about the choir's recent trip to Argentina. I know a lot of people said they wanted to see pictures and hear about it a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and record some of my thoughts and explain some of these pictures so you get a better idea of what we did and what it was like. First thing, a lot of good food. They really are known for their meat and their empanadas. They were pretty amazing. Surprised how good their desserts were too. I just had to laugh in this store. You see the soccer ball in here. That's a full size soccer ball made completely out of chocolate. So yeah, I didn't buy it because it was really expensive. And how was I going to get that back in my luggage? But how cool! Another thing we noticed were that how much dance was a big deal. Argentina is the home of the tango. And so one of the days they took us for lunch, we got to see a tango show, which was incredible. Some of these other ones are actually from their local members who came to greet us at the airport and at the hotel on our first day. They came and they were dressed up in traditional Argentinian costumes and were doing some Argentinian dances. It was really cool. And I have a newfound appreciation for for tango. Another thing we got to do one day was to visit this. Called it a cemetery, but it was really like a city, like a whole little city of the dead, where like just hundreds of mausoleums. And included in that was the famous Eva Peron of Evita fame. We went and saw her tomb. People still put flowers on it, apparently. But there's kind of this rectangular complex of all these different mausoleums, of all these different kinds of architecture. In the very center was a statue of Jesus. So we had to chuckle a little bit because he kind of looked like Gandalf. But yeah, in any case, we did find actually another um, statue of Jesus that looked like exactly like the Thorvaldsen one we're used to, the Christus, but was done in black stone. So that was interesting as well. There just a few more. It was raining like crazy, but that was actually kind of a perfect background for exploring a city full of mausoleums. We also got to look around at the opera house. It's called the Cologne Opera House, and it apparently is one of the most important ones in the world. Just as gorgeous can be, like the ceiling, all with like stained glass, and it looked like something straight out of like what you'd see in like Paris or something. I had a laugh. They had this display full of old costumes, and I thought these shoes were particularly hilarious. One of the mornings we went to this actually a bookstore. It was originally a theater, as you can tell, but they converted it into a bookstore. And so the stage there is like a little cafe now, and the box office is where you go to check out. Kind of fun. And then each of the levels is just lined with books now. It's just this beautiful old theater they've repurposed into a bookstore. I was happy to say I found actually multiple Utah authors, sadly not myself yet, but who had Spanish editions of their books there. So that was kind of fun too. One of the great things about touring is they always work in the little cultural experiences. Yeah, Dory, I promise you we'll get to the actual singing we did too. Those are just some of the fun things we got to do and explore in kind of our when we weren't on stage. But they took us out to a gaucho ranch, and the gauchos are like these Argentinian cowboys. We got to see like horses and stuff. So there's this chair made out completely out of animal bones. But one of the best parts is um, they did a what's called an asado, which is an Argentinian barbecue, and so they that was really great. You can see why they are so famous for their meat. It was just such a beautiful, nice way to get out of the city because the city of Buenos Aires itself is very busy, very crowded, lots of really tall buildings. Feels um, I see what I'd compare it to is a lot. It's actually a lot like London, where there's lots of brand new, beautiful new buildings, but then there's also a lot of old kind of European style architecture. So it's a neat blending of both of those things. So I really did appreciate that. There's just a few more pictures from that from the Gaucho Ranch. That a cuckoo clock, which I thought was kind of fun. Very, it looked very much like the ones I saw in Germany. And I did not buy this hat, but I had to put on a Gaucho hat just for fun. All right, so here's an actual venue we performed in. Usually on tour we do a we call a VIP concert for local dignitaries, people we want to sort of get in good with, that so that we can help build the church in the area. Whether it's helping out trying to get permission to build our temples or get more missionaries in more places, whatever they. So we always try to help out with that. And apparently, our leadership, the choir leadership, actually, and Elder Cook, who accompanied us, all met with Javier Milei, who's the president of Argentina. So they went all the way to the top. But this place is really cool. So this is where we did our VIP concert, and the building itself you see in the top left. It's this really old looking building. It used to be the central post office, but they gutted the inside, and my head's kind of covering it, but you can kind of see that this silver thing inside is a big metal cage in which they suspended a concert hall in the middle of it. So none of the walls of the concert hall touch the outside building. And so none of the sound from the outside busy city transfers to it. So it's this beautifully secluded concert hall. That's it. In the middle, you can see what it looks like inside. It's beautiful space, wonderful acoustics, really neat. And then this is actually us having dinner on top of the concert hall. That's kind of it looks. It's like in this big like, metal, almost looks like chainmail, but they call it the whale because the concert hall itself is kind of this big oblong thing that looks like, well, a whale. Other two concerts were done in what's in this brand new concert hall, only opened a few years ago, called the Movie Star Arena. And right outside, they were having a soccer game. So when we were outdoors, we could hear them, going crazy every time they made a goal. The set was absolutely gorgeous. They had all these like dangling leaves that they turn white and kind of look like supposed to look like the tree of life. Got to ring a handbell for one of the numbers, so that's me with my handbell and some of my other tenors I was standing next to. We had two different nights in here. Elder Cook spoke before each of them. They had local guest artists. I mean, it was just packed full. People were singing along, dancing in the aisles, and yeah, it was just really, really fun. The city itself, I talked a little bit about this, but it's just like a great blend of old and new. There's lots of monuments, lots of just interesting to see everything you every time you look around, you see something interesting. Here's just some of this right here in the middle. It's kind of pink looking building is the Pink House. It's where their president lives, kind of like our White House, but for them it's pink. Also, in the movie Evita, it's where Eva Peron comes out on the balcony and sings "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina." Yeah, that whole thing. One of the mornings they actually took us down on like the river that runs by there. It runs into the ocean, and it's just fascinating. There's all these people who live on the islands in the river. So like you'd see them, there'd be like a little house, and in front instead of a car was like a little motorboat, and these people just live on the river. A lot of the houses were up on stilts because the river rises and falls, but it was just fascinating. They took us on this little cruise up and down this river, and you see all these cool little houses of these the island people as they call them. There's no roads on the island. It's all you just have to reach it by boat, and there's no cars and stuff out there. The 3rd of February Park is not somewhere I knew about before, but sure got to know a lot about it on this trip. One of the reasons we're down in South America is that this year it's been 100 years since Elder Melvin J. Ballard dedicated South America for the preaching of the gospel. And he did it in this park called the 3rd of February Park. And me and a few of the other choir members, we actually found there's this little marker that has Elder Ballard's picture on it. He's the grandfather of the Apostle M. Russell Ballard, who later came back and dedicated Argentina specifically. But yeah, that was really neat. Part of our missionary purpose, being able to connect with that apostle who had dedicated that back in 1925. Really amazing. And honestly, the best part about tours is just the people. This is a picture of our bus. We had like a native kind of bus guide named Noel. We had him try Reese's peanut butter cups for the first time, and he now says that he's going to be addicted to them. Anyway, he was really fun. He came to both of our concerts and said he felt just a really special feeling there that he'll never forget. This is the Elder Cook and the area presidency coming out, and they traveled with us and spoke before each one of our concerts. It was really a incredible time for the church there in Argentina, commemorating this really wonderful milestone. Yeah, so really, it's the people that make the choir great. It's not just the singing; it's they really are just I feel like some of the best spiritual folks you'll ever meet. And so that was wonderful. What's really neat is that anyway, I love this shot. There's actually a screen behind us when we sing that changes from song to song. That behind us is a screen, this really high def, incredible screen. I don't know whoever got that shot was, yeah, it's the money shot. But anyway, you can watch the entire concert on YouTube. Yeah, and that I've included a link for that right here. So if you want to watch the concert, please do. We do sing a lot of things in Spanish, but there's a lot of English too. So I think you'll just really enjoy it. So thanks. Choir's headed next to Sao Paulo, Brazil in February of 2026. So the work continues, and I'm just happy to be part of it.